we only hire A players, right? You hear this from recruiters, you hear it from hiring managers, and it's a lie. And it's a lie not because we don't want great people working at our companies, it's a lie because the things that we do to identify A players actually don't. It self-selects out people who would be great, and misses people who, and brings people who aren't. So first, we identify A players in job listings using words like ninja and rock star. Lots of people don't use those words to describe themselves and self-select out of those job listings. Specifically, women who find jobs that have a lot of masculine characteristics in them less appealing and won't apply for those jobs. If you think rock star isn't a male term, by the way, go ahead and Google image search that term and you'll see what I mean. So a Duke study found that women were less likely to apply for these jobs. And the reason they're less likely to apply for jobs with masculine words in them is because they feel they might not belong in that organization. I can't imagine what would make women think they don't belong in this organization. Right, so they're self-selecting out, so we're getting people who aren't qualified. And then we have this long list of requirements, right? And this is a fantasy. The hiring manager knows this is a fantasy. They know no one meets all of these requirements and can do all of these things, some of which are contradictory. But we include them in there anyway. The problem with this is on average, men will apply for a job if they meet 60% of the criteria. Women will only apply if they meet 100%. Forget about gender for a minute. This means we are interviewing people who are less qualified over people who are more qualified because they self-select out because they think all the requirements are actually required. The next problem is that we expect people to come into their interview and being very confident, right? He's a rock star, he's gonna crush it, he's gonna tell me how fantastic he is, right? So first of all, many people don't present themselves this way, but more importantly, there's the Dunning-Kruger effect, which found that the least experienced people are the most confident. Researchers call this Mount Stupid, right? This is the peak of our confidence and the absolute nadir of our actual experience or competence, right? So the things that we think make people competent aren't. And then, of course, we're biased. I can show you many examples of this, but I have two great ones, right? We're specifically biased against people who've taken time off for caregiving. We are twice as likely to interview someone who was fired from their job as we are someone who voluntarily took time off for caregiving. This applies to both men and women who've taken time off for caregiving, by the way. It's not specific to mothers. This was in Harvard Business Review, so you know it's true. And then when blind auditions were introduced into orchestras, the number of women in the top 5 orchestras increased by 250%. Clearly women play better when they are behind a screen. That must be the answer, right? A players is lazy shorthand for we hire people who look like us, who've done all the things we've done in the way that we did them, in the order that we did them in, right? And it means we miss all kinds of people who get experiences outside the workforce in all kinds of ways, right? So I think there is an opportunity to think outside the checkboxes, to think about the ways that people gain skills and experience and how those can apply in the workforce. So for example, if you need to find somebody who can collaborate effectively, who can manage competing agendas, who can persuade through influence, I wanted you to think about hiring the dad who runs the town little league, right? You want to talk about competing agendas? Every parent thinks their kid's going to Major League Ball, right? Every kid wants snacks and more snacks, right? The town's got their rules, the league's got their rules, there's software to deal with, there's all this stuff. And by the way, he's doing that while he also has a job, right? That's somebody who can manage competing agendas. You need somebody who can take a risk, who can multitask effectively, who can get things done no matter what, manage competing stakeholders. Hire the millennial who's running 3 side hustles to pay off her student loan debt, right? This is someone who can get projects done, who can prioritize on the fly, who can make everybody feel like they're the only person she's paying attention to, right? And if you need somebody who can learn on the job, who can manage, digest complicated information, make decisions with limited information, go ahead and hire the former stay-at-home mom who came home with a little baby and no instruction manual, that had to figure out on the fly what this kid needed, and as soon as she got good at her job changed, because the baby years are different from the toddler years, are different from the school years, are way different from the teen years, right? She had to manage her own time effectively, and all of those things. These are the real A players, right? And when we say the word A player and rockstar and ninja, that's not what we think about. But these are the people who can actually get things done. And by the way, they're not going to apply for that job because they don't see themselves that way. But we think differently about talent, and we think differently about who can contribute. You can find the real A players.